what's the challenge? Why is it so hard for people to not understand? If you listen to Dope Man, under no circumstances does he say doing drugs is good, being a drug dealer is good, being a drug dealer to Strawberry, the girlfriend. Like there's no one in there looks good in this song. And Ice Cube is rapping, and then they bring on Eazy-E, and he's rapping from the drug dealer perspective, and he's talking about the problems he's having.
Right.
So, what is that?
I think there's an element of original WWF, and I'm not WWE, but WWF, where it's like, oh, this is fake, and you get Geraldo Rivera gets slapped because he's calling wrestling fake, even though the wrestler knows the wrestling's fake. And then, ironically, you can get injured in this fake wrestling if you do this move incorrectly. You got to be on your choreography. There is some potential for harm to occur. And I think that inside of our industry, the line, for those who did it well, the line is told very closely between faction, right? It being fact and fiction, because it's drawn from elements of reality. Like clearly in Sunken Place, the camera didn't flash and my nose started to bleed. Clearly that's from the movie. So someone would have to be willing to like step back, but they'll say, well, all these other aspects are very similar to things that they think could be drawn from my real life, which is true. But in order to entertain, it has to have the elements of entertainment in it because it is first and foremost a product meant for consumption as entertainment. And I think N.W.A, Ice Cube, Eazy-E, Dr. Dre understood that better than a lot of people, which is why they pioneered the kind of success that they had. And it was deliberate. I think that the consumer, hip hop is one of the only fields where the line is very blurred between being a consumer, a fan, and people don't even like that word. Like it's a four-letter word in hip hop. I'm a fan. I mean, we use a fan, fanboy, fangirl. They use it almost like it's a four-letter word because the line is so thin between the consumer and the person who produces the product that everybody's trying to act like it's real. So you have the guy. I was driving in my car in my neighborhood with a pistol, hop out, hang with the homies, had a 40, and it could have went bad today, and maybe it didn't. And that's Ice Cube's It's a Good Day. Like I lived that day before. I lived the part at the end with the Impala and Here Come the Police. I lived it all, and so it's like that so close to the reality of what we've experienced makes it where this is real. This is it right here because it's the closest you can get to the authentic expression of the real experience for people who may not have been able to put it in those words or frame it that way. And like I tell people, if you go to the park and play basketball on the weekends, you're not a basketball player. You're a person who plays basketball. There's a difference. You can't show up at the Forum and suit up for the Lakers and just decide that you about to go for 40 tonight. It don't work like that. And the hip hop is the only thing where somebody just show up with a ball and jersey and say, I'm in the game, and people be like, all right. there's no Vanguard right now. There's no they talk about gatekeepers, but I'm like, what gatekeeper, bro? There's nobody stopping anybody from waking up in the morning making a song if they want to do it. Everything you need to do it. If you got Apple products and a processor strong enough, you got a interface and a microphone. That's a field. That's a professional football field. You're literally in the game already. So now is do we think you could play? And then if you can, then cool. Sometimes people who can't play score a couple of touchdowns, and you get a Soldier Boy who got a massive hit song and technically a career better than a lot of people. And it started in his bedroom. He built his field in his room and decided, I want to play this game. And it worked. And so hip hop is a vehicle to pursue the American dream for our community. And I'll say our community, inclusive of you as hip hop, our ethnicity being hip hop. This is our culture. Those of us who wanted to make a vocation out of this, have a legitimate opportunity to change our lives and the lives of our family doing something that we actually love and believe in. And I think that's what makes it such a desirable thing to do. And that's also why they went about trying to deconstruct the financial benefits of pursuing it, because it was changing people's lives generationally. And so now your music don't, you can't make a, you get a penny for a stream if Congress passes the bill, right?
Well, let's hope they
Because
do,
they
because that'd be a big raise.
that ironically, which is insane, a penny is a big raise.
Yes, that's crazy.
Yeah, it
On a
is crazy.
related note, uh, on Sunken Place, you also talk about realizing, in that instance, you're talking about you and the girl realizing you're not right for each other, or at least you realizing you two are not right for each other,
Hmm.
and being able to divorce, walk away, this and that. So, throughout your career and your life, you've matured and things have gone differently, and you approach things, as we're going to talk about with some of this other stuff, very differently than you would have during, say, the psychoactive era. So,
Right.
how do you, how does that evolution manifest itself in the songs differently now, and personally, how have you evolved and changed so much since the 92 era?
I think the natural progression of just living, because I'm a 15-year-old young man, fatherless child, writing psychoactive, and then I'm 16 when I'm wrapping it up, 17 when I get incarcerated. I think being a lot of us didn't anticipate living. You don't have a concept when you're in a nihilistic lifestyle. You have a concept of tomorrow barely, like you know, a summer feel like 10 years or 5 minutes, depending on how fun it was. Time is a very weird thing to experience. The speed of it or the slowness of it, depending on the circumstance. Some things feel like they take forever. Some things are flash. And so I think for me, the fact that I live beyond the expectancy of my species um, just afforded me the opportunity to have life experiences and then say, it's only so many times that somebody could swing a bat and you're going to duck. You got to duck, or you're just going to be like, I'm going to headbutt the bat. Like, what you going to do? You going to duck or you going to get hit with the bat? If you get hit once and you aren't knocked out, you're definitely going to duck. You're going to start ducking. And so I think it takes minimal intelligence to start learning that something hurts and you don't want to do that again. This is not a good idea. That didn't feel good. And so that happened for me. And then I had the benefit of being in a location where they put the big homies. I was where they put our uncles, our fathers, those who have had life experiences and accumulated enough information to know and to be respected enough to receive the information from on both sides of the aisle. I've got a lot of really good information across all lines. And so I just took all of that and my personal view of who I wanted to be as a person, as a man, and kind of created my own personal constitution and said, this is how I'm gonna live my life. This is what I believe about myself. These are my values. And it went from being a parrot to being a man of principles. A parrot's gonna say whatever he got to say to get you to give him the cracker. He don't know that a cracker's a cracker. He don't know what poly want a cracker means. He just knows if I make this noise, this mammal is gonna give me something to eat. So Polly want a cracker. And a person of principle is going to tell you what they believe, regardless of what the reward or the consequence will be. If they believe in it, then they're going to stand on that. If they believe that they're incorrect, they're going to modify, because a part of their principles is that they would like to have the correct information. So they're going to make adjustments. Their constitution will be pliable so that it can be altered. And so I think that's what happened to me. I accumulated information. I kept the stuff that I thought was good. I created a personal constitution for myself for how I wanted to conduct myself, how I wanted to impact people. And number one, that I wanted to do so deliberately. I didn't want to unintentionally impact people. If I'm going to do something stupid tomorrow, I'm 100% doing that on purpose. I'm going to do the stupid thing as intelligently as possible. It's happening. And if I want to anything, I want it to be deliberate. I don't want to have an outcome and say, damn, man, I didn't see that coming. It's like, well, why not? I perceive myself to be a more perceptible person than that. So it's like, okay, anybody could get a surprised outcome, but I want to be aware of what the potentials are. I'm trying to Doctor Strange my life. Like, give me a minute, I'll be right back. I want to look at every multitude of opportunities for outcomes and be like, I want this one, and come back and say, okay, let's go. This is what I'm doing. And I think I just matured into that and then started feeling like I wanted to share that process with other people. I thought it was necessary as a consumer of my culture who has been informed for both better and worse by my favorite MCs. It's people who Ice Cube is almost like a father lyrically than Scarface and what they taught us. And here comes Tupac as a brother, a big brother who taught us some more stuff. And then, so the greatest MCs to me were teachers. KRS-One literally is called the teacher. Rakim was a teacher. I feel like the pursuit, what happened to me was the pursuit of being a bionic MC actually made me a smarter human with vocabulary, what was necessary to be able to write a dope rhyme, having a command of the English language, having an understanding of what parables, metaphors, similes, what all these things literally really mean. Um, just trying to be dope at my vocation, I think made me a doper human. And that's something that I'm grateful for to hip hop for, and the MCs who preceded me, including Ice-T, those who have been teachers.
Yeah.
And I want to continue that legacy, especially for the West Coast.